Hi. When I prepared to this talk, I read some guides on how to structure a talk. So they advise basically to hook the audience with the ice-breaking questions or statistics or some joke. And then I was thinking, what if statistics will be not interesting for people? Or what if no one laughs at the jokes? So imagine I'm delivering a joke, silence. So I decided just to quit this part, to skip the hook the audience with all these things, and start just getting to the point. And the point is, comic classes for incarcerated people as a two-way learning process. Many years ago, I was talking with French comic artist Farid Boujelal. If there are any French guys, I would better say bande dessinée instead of comic. So Farid was telling me a story that some years ago, before that, he was making a workshop in one of the Paris prisons. And he guided a group of incarcerated people who developed comic, and then he published these comic stories in one volume. And this idea got stuck in my mind. So how the art can influence life of incarcerated people. And on the contrary, how the art developed by incarcerated people can be in any value out of the walls. And I understand that the question of, to answer this kind of questions, you have to get involved more on this. So years later, when I came to United States, I moved to United States. One of the first things I was wondering, who is in charge of jails over here? It's happened that it's sheriff's office. So with the little help of my friend, very soon I find myself sitting in one of the cafes with Middlesex County Sheriff Peter Kutujan. I was telling him about the comic classes for incarcerating people, and actually I was ready for any kind of answer, not only positive, because I was just a recent immigrant with fragmented knowledge about American reality. That's why I expected any kind of answers. So his answer was positive. He has been thinking about it, about involvement of art in incarceration, in lives of incarcerated people. And he said that art programs can be a tool for rehabilitation. So rehabilitation is a rehabilitation tool, and it can help people to overcome the stress, trauma, difficult emotions, and channel it through the art. I didn't think about that actually. That was a really strong point. What I was thinking about was more from the artistic perspective. If you go to any bookstore, you can find many amazing comic, and especially drawing and art part is very good, but made by very good artists. Sometimes you can see that plots are much more weaker and they are repetitive, and in comparison with whatever is there, plots, the incarcerated people live a life full of emotions, quick turns, up and downs, and if they translate these stories into the plots, it can be really a good ones that can compare even with famous movie plots. So that's why life-based stories of incarcerated people are very important as a source of a good story for comic. And of course, one of the points was when incarcerated people start to make art, they kind of a shift from the inmate with 6-digit number to become an artist, and it is increasing their self-esteem. besides real life, learning how to write and draw comic, it's a real life skill that can help you in future life. So all these points that I was mentioning, starting from rehabilitation through the other points, melted up to one point, and it's a program called Healing Art in jail, and I still run this program and do classes for incarcerated people. Teaching in jail is quite different from teaching on the outside. In general, there are warm-up exercises, and these are the ones where you practice how to pace the story, how to shorten the time, or how to make it longer, or some other exercises you can see that deals with texts, to put the text, squeeze the, not to squeeze, but adjust the text to the balloons, and all kind of these exercises. All these exercises are based on concept of constrained comic developed by French Ubabo group and educator Matt Madden, who lives in Philadelphia now. In jail, there is another constraint. First and most important constraint, of course, is freedom. Surprisingly, the second constraint is time. Surprisingly for me, I was thinking that people are there, there's a plenty of time. No way. They are always busy, they are always stressed out with conflicts with inside the facility, calls with family, and the talking with parole officers, so they're always busy. So there is no way for them even to do comic homework. The only way they can be busy with making comic is the class time. So here you can see some examples of exercises. So even warm-up exercises now, I was thinking about not make it separately before they're starting to develop their stories, but integrate it in, because there is not much time for them to spend on all this. That's why the learning process, from the learning then doing, it's transformed into learning while doing. So you can teach, and they are actually understand everything during the process of developing the script and doing the drawings over there. So script is also transformed. Making scripts in jail is different than making script out of there. If usually the artist started to make a draft of comic in small scale and then transfer it over there, in jail there is not much time for this. So we started to use sticky notes, which is a lifesaver. You can put sticky notes and then use this for making a script. Also, instead of narrative, you are going to use small boxes with actions. So one action after another, and in one page, you can just make full script over there. So the same as I was talking about the drawing method. So because drawing now is, instead of making two copies, one draft and after that correction of the draft and making a bigger, better copy of it, now it's moved to sticky notes. So you do everything on, they do everything on sticky notes, and it's very convenient because you can remove it, you can move it without more job over there. One thing that was really surprised me is the jail art. And the thing is that jail art also influenced my own art. I didn't expect that. So there is a special art in jail. It is a mixture of tattoo and graffiti, portraits, and also specific symbols like broken watches or keyholes, and from keyholes there is silhouettes over there. So some symbolic art over there. Usually the ones who are good in drawing, they make such kind of a picture and send it as a keepsakes to their families outside. They do it for themselves or for their friends. So, and then the good artists bring all this during the class and show it. And then someday I was trying to do everyday comic for Instagram, everyday pictures for Instagram. After a while, people said that this, whatever you are doing, is very resembling a tattoo. So I realized that not intentionally, I got the influence from the jail art. So let's go back to purpose of healing art. First of all, it's a growing of the self-esteem of people. It's a rehabilitation and healing process. And during the classes, at least, they are getting less stressed. And this also comes not only that they came involved in the art, they kind of immersed in what they are doing, but also they are among other artists. In that moment, they are not inmates, but they are just a circle of artists over there. And very important for comic is to get published. And like for math and other science, you got the knowledge and it stays in your head. For comic, it's not enough to create pages of pictures. You have to publish it. Publish, it means sharing with others, with your family and wider audience, and this is just the greatest tool for rehabilitation and the greatest tool for raising a self-esteem. So we are on this stage, working on this. That books, actually, they were printed, but not yet published. So the Middlesex Sheriff's Office, they're changing towards involving more and more education. This is actually very, very important. Like when I started to go over there 5-7 years ago, I was going into the living units. Now, incarcerated people came to the classes. There is an education department now. There is a series of classes. There are so many classes teaching them, starting from math and to the other ones who are giving you a skill. They have credit courses, time of earnings, like this comic class has a time off. They are taking out some time out of their time in jail when they participate in classes like that. And also classes that are giving them life skills that are useful for the future. And this is a growing, and I like to see that this classrooms and education part is growing over there. And actually moving forward to better society means taking care of the ones who are now in jail. Because taking care of them now in jail and preparing them for the world which is outside, this is the best thing that education can do. Comics, art, education in general, this is powerful, very powerful tools to help people to meet the challenges in their future. Thank you very much.